So Bizz and Buzz make honey buns. It's about two little bees who want to make a sweet treat, but they don't quite understand the directions. So they end up using a little flower, Flower, instead of a little flower, Flour, to try to make the sweet treat. And that's just the beginning of their mistakes. One day the alarm clock was just buzzing and I thought of bees when it was buzzing. And I knew at the time I was trying to think of a cute little story that was humorous and what kind of character should be in it, because I knew that a certain publisher was looking for very simple language for some news stories, from like easy reader type things. And so those little bees, the buzzing gave me the idea. Plus I had just recently taken some pictures, close-up pictures of bees on flowers. And I also had just had some honey buns for breakfast like that week. And so somehow they just all got put together and I decided to write about two little bees who made the mistake of using the wrong kind of flower. When I go to bookstores or schools or libraries or wherever, the kids just love it because I don't just read the book. We stop and we do little activities to go with them. So one of the things they love the most is, for example, when we get to this page where it says they all sang together and the other little critters are covering their ears, they cover their ears and then we sing the A, B, C's in the worst possible way so that we kind of sound like Bizz and Buzz. So we kind of go up and down and they just love that. Since they don't get to be wrong in school a lot, I make them pretend they're Bizz and Buzz and they try to pick. If I say a sentence, they try to pick the wrong, like I called a tow truck, so then they'll point to the toe. And so they think that's hilarious. And sometimes I have them draw the wrong picture. They would draw the tow truck. So a truck with a bunch of toes on it. Just different things like that. And they enjoy that. And they think it's hilarious. One of the favorite things at a school visit that was said was, I had antenna on my head and I had a striped shirt on, yellow and black. And one of the little kids said, "Why are you wearing antlers?" So that was kind of another, mistake that somebody made, and the other kids looked at them. And so we went over the difference between antlers and antenna. Whenever something can be misinterpreted or a word has more than one meaning, I think people from other countries might have a hard time, especially with idioms and homophones. For example, idioms, they would have no idea, like a visitor or somebody who has English as a second language, they wouldn't know what a piece of cake meant, or spill the beans, or something like break a leg, and they may take it literally and they just kind of look at you like, what does that mean? I don't understand. And so I think those plus homophones, words that have different meanings, or homonyms, I think those can be really confusing to people. So we have to be cognizant of that fact. And when we're speaking to somebody from another country or somebody who has English as a second language, to be super careful that our intentions or what we meant to say aren't being misinterpreted. And I think everybody makes mistakes and misinterprets things, even if it's not to somebody isn't, English as a second language, even just, somebody, your friend you're used to talking to. And so if later you think, oh, they could have taken that wrong way, just to apologize, to make sure that they didn't misinterpret what you meant to say at the time, because you can always reword things, think about rewording things later to be more clear about what you meant. Well, I don't know if I would use favorite to call a mistake favorite, but I do have a mistake that I made when I was a child too, that pertained to language, just not knowing a vocabulary word. So I was in school and I was helping a teacher at recess put up bulletin boards, and she turned to me and asked if she was a grouch. And the way she asked, and I didn't know what a grouch was. I guess this was before Sesame Street. I don't know, or else I hadn't watched it. And I didn't know what it was, but the way she had asked it, it sounded like she wanted me to say yes. So I said yes. And then when I got home and asked what it meant, and my mom told me, I was mortified because this was like my favorite teacher. I love this teacher. And I had just told her she was a grouch. And I still think about that today. So I would just say, just be always on the lookout for times that you might make a mistake, and then realize that sometimes your mistakes can actually result in good things. In the case of Bizz and Buzz, even though they made mistakes, they ended up making a sweet treat that they loved. And that sometimes happens in real life with scientists or inventors. So things like Post-it notes, penicillin, X-rays, different things have all resulted from mistakes. So we can learn by our mistakes, but sometimes we can even be surprised by them. So as far as little mistakes go, don't dwell on them. Just use them as a learning, a learning type of deal, and then look out for, even making bigger mistakes in the future if you learn from that first little mistake.